Of a couple of English fans. This has been South Africa's day. England's turn is still to come. James Pearce, BBC News, Rustenburg.
Police in the US say at least 16 people have been killed in flash floods in the state of Arkansas. Rivers in the area rose by 6 meters after heavy rain, and rescue workers are still searching the area. Reports say more than 40 people are unaccounted for. Jack Izzard reports.
The Little Missouri River earned its diminutive name by the way it winds gently through rural Arkansas. Its usually clear waters have long attracted fishermen and canoeists, but when it flooded on Friday, it swelled to an irresistible force. In just an hour, the water level rose by nearly 2.5 meters and swept all before it. Worst hit were a series of campsites perched on its banks.
There was a lot of people up into there. It's a very popular place, and there's just people from all over the country. We're just in the process of right now trying to see if we have anyone to be rescued along the river there, and also in the recovery stage.
The flood came just before dawn. Some campers awoke to see others being washed away.
I got a bunch of bulbos and stuff, but I ain't got nothing compared to those little babies that was screaming and hollering in the river. Help me. Help me. We just couldn't reach them. We had to climb about 40 feet of the tree to save our own lives. We were just clinging on to dear life.
It's probably the scariest thing I've ever been in my life. We lost everything, all our tents, grills. We were lucky to get out with our lives, and my heart goes out to the families and people that lost.
The waters have now begun receding, but even as the physical devastation is slowly revealed, the full human cost is not yet known. Dozens of people are still missing, and rescuers fear it may take days to find them. Jack Izzard, BBC News.
Pope Benedict has begged for forgiveness over the sexual abuse of children by some Roman Catholic priests. He was speaking at a Mass in the Vatican to mark the end of the Church's International Year of the Priest. He promised to do everything possible to stop it happening again. Almost 40 people have been killed in drug-related attacks in Mexico. 20 bodies were found in the city of Ciudad Madero. Some had been tortured. In Chihuahua, gunmen lined up and shot 19 people at a drug rehabilitation center. Ethnic tensions are simmering in Kyrgyzstan, where clashes have broken out in the southern city of Osh. At least 40 people have been killed and hundreds more injured. A state of emergency has been declared and a curfew is in place. It's the most serious violence since the overthrow of President Bakiyev and a blow to hopes of stability for a strategic country. Rayhan Dimitri reports now from Osh.
A day of violence and chaos in the southern Kyrgyz city of Osh. Clashes erupted on Thursday night between two rival groups of youth from the ethnic Kyrgyz and Uzbek communities. Hundreds of young men armed with guns and steel bars battled on the streets, setting cars alight. Dozens of private properties, including shops, restaurants, a local TV station and a theatre, were also set ablaze. Several hundred special security officers and armored vehicles were on the ground trying to stop gangs from roaming the streets. In the capital Bishkek, the country's interim president said that the government was prepared for more trouble overnight.
At the moment, Jalalabad is calm, but we all expect that we need to be ready for this evening, for tonight. The unrest down there, some was spontaneous, but some people were using force strategically, and we know that some people were sent from Jalalabad to Osh yesterday evening. Regrettably for us, we're clearly talking about a standoff between two ethnicities.
Following the popular uprising in Kyrgyzstan in April, which overthrew President Kurmanbek Bakiyev from power, the interim authorities have been struggling to restore order, particularly in the south of the country, which is home to a large ethnic Uzbek community. There have been fears that lawlessness could spark an ethnic clash. Despite military reinforcements which were sent from the capital Bishkek, there were reports that fighting continued in the city center on Friday evening. As the interim authorities are trying to restore order, Osh residents are worried that they might face many sleepless nights in the days to come. Rayhan Dimitri, BBC News, Osh.
This is BBC News. Still ahead, we explore Britain's largest science project and the hope that it will speed up the diagnosis of cancer. Queen Elizabeth has thanked British civil servants who played a crucial role during the handover of power after the general election resulted in a hung parliament. In a visit to the Cabinet Office, she met the men and women who handled the transition last month. Our royal correspondent Nick Witchell has more.
It is, of course, Her Majesty's government, yet rather surprisingly, Her Majesty has apparently never been to the Cabinet Office to see this department at the heart of government at work. She did so today at her own request to thank the civil servants who helped to steer the political process after the inconclusive general election and who assisted the party leaders to form the coalition government.
Beth, Ian, Tom and Jenny supported the negotiations between the political parties.
The Queen met the senior civil servants, the permanent secretaries of all the government departments, the Whitehall mandarins who, under ministerial control, run the machinery of government.
Over here we have international defence and security.
That a coalition government had emerged so smoothly from a hung parliament was due in no small part, according to the Cabinet Secretary, to the careful preparations of the civil service.
In recent weeks, through a general election and the transition to a new coalition government, we've certainly had ample opportunity to put our core values, particularly impartiality, into practice.
Then, on a day when team games are very much in the news, there was the team photograph. The backroom stars, as it were, of Team UK, with the chairman and chief coach. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News.
Japan's new Prime Minister said his country could face an economic crisis similar to the one in Greece if it doesn't tackle its mounting debt. In his first address to Parliament, Naoto Kan said the problem stems from an ageing population and an over-reliance on bonds. To fix the issue, he says the government is considering raising taxes. You're watching BBC News. Reminder of the headlines this hour. The 2010 Football World Cup has kicked off with a spectacular opening ceremony in South Africa, and the hosts scored the first goal. Flash floods have killed at least 16 people at a camping ground in the US state of Arkansas. 40 others are still missing. And a state of emergency has been declared in Kyrgyzstan after 40 people were killed and hundreds more injured in ethnic clashes.